All right. As mentioned, I got some issues going on with storage, so we're gonna try it again on another video and another device and see if I can get through this thing. So this is, I guess, part 2 now of Aretha Franklin, "Mary, Don't You Weep." All right. So I've already taught you all this. Right? And then we did that, and then we got into the verse. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Martha, don't you moan. Now, from there, we do a walk. After we do the oh, Martha, don't you moan. Okay, you start there. After you do the 4 to the 1, which I already taught you. Now we're going to do this, walking to the 4. You can do single notes. 1, 2, 4. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do that. Or let's see here. Yeah, to make it easiest, the easiest thing that I can tell you would be to just do the single notes. Or you can go. I'm trying to figure out what the easiest thing to show you. But I would say the easiest thing would be either that, or instead of walking, let's do that. All right, so instead of doing the walk, forget that. Let's just go from the 1. You're doing the pulse when you're going from that E flat minor, D flat minor to the E flat minor thing. Oh, Martha, don't you moan. Okay, so from here you can go 3, because we're gonna go to the 4, so we can use the 3, and we can play a F on our left hand and play a tritone in our right, which is E flat and A, the tritone for F. Remember, the tritone is the 3rd, and the flat 7 for that particular tone that you're on. So since we're going to the key of F, and if we want to know its tritone, then we have to look at it from the perspective of being in the key of F right now. Even though we're in the key of D flat overall, since we're on this tone, if we want to figure out how to play a tritone for this tone, then we have to look at it like we're in the key of F. So the key of F scale would be F is the 1, G is the 2, A is the 3, B flat is the 4, C is the 5, D is the 6, E is the 7. Oh guys, I'm going to G. And then F would be your 1 again. So if you want to play the flat 7 of F, well, this is the 7, so then we would have to flat it. So you got an E flat, and if you want to play the 3rd of F, A is the 3rd, right? So if you want to play the 3rd and the flat 7 together over F, that would be the tritone. Whether you play it like A and E flat, or you play it like E flat and A flat. This is the chord that we're using to get to the 4. Okay, this tritone. Showed you how to construct it. So you got oh, Mary, don't you weep. I shouldn't have added all the notes. I did this. So another thing that you can do if you don't want to just play the tritone, F, E flat, and A. Instead of doing that, if you want, you can play this chord. You still got A in your left, which is a 3, and then you got E flat, G, A, C. Okay? That's E flat, G, A, C. Now another thing that you can do is just play like a C minor chord in your right hand. Okay? So when you're over the 3, you can go to the 7 in your right and play a minor chord. Okay, this is with the C minor, E flat, G, and C. I'm playing it in first inversion, am I right? Right, so you can play any of those type of C minor chords in order to take you to the 4. But when you get on the 4, so you got so when you get to the 4, so we did the 3, leading to the 4. Excuse me. When we get to the 4, you got G flat in your left, E, A flat, B flat, and D flat. G flat, E, A flat, B flat, and D flat. Okay? And please forgive me, guys. I'm a third shifter, and I've been up for like literally 26 to 27 hours now, so I was yawning and getting a little tired. But so you're going from that 4 chord that I just showed you. You got G flat, E, A flat, B flat, and D flat, and you can go from this chord to this chord, which is G flat on the left, G flat, B flat, E flat on the right. And another thing, just like you did over the 1, when you was going 5-1, 5-1, showed that on the last video. You can also do the 5-1 for the key of G flat too. Since now we're on the 4, you can do the 5-1 relative to the actual G flat major scale now. Since we're on this tone, when I'm talking about the 5, I'm talking about the 5th tone of G flat, which is D flat. Okay? Just 5-1, 5-1. So you got, whereas this is the first chord I showed you, E, A flat, B flat, and D flat. This is the second chord I showed you after the 5-1 in your left hand. You got G flat, B flat, and D flat. Okay? So let's go from the very top. Very, very top of the song. Remember, we started off with the 1 minor, the 2 minor, and then we went to the flat 3 major, and then we went to the 2 minor again, and we cycled that for a little bit. So you got 1, 2, ready, and remember that. Hold it on the E right there. Everything else is just pulse. Now we're in the verse. 3 to the 4. Remember, we're doing the 5-1 in our left hand. Now we're back at the 1. Right? Do it one more time from the very top. Let's do it with the beat, and I'll slow it down some here. Let's do it at that pace. I'll turn the metronome on too. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and sorry, it took me a second to catch it. Remember, don't hold it, even though I just did. Hold it here. So you got G flat minor, E flat minor, E major, E flat minor. Now you're in the verse. 3 to the 4. Now you're back at the 1. Now I'm just bouncing on the 1. Right? And then those chords, they repeat themselves, so they cycle over again. Let's speed it up a little bit and do it again. Here we go. 1, 2, starting with the D flat minor chord. Here we go. Remember we worked on that lick on the first video? Now we're in the verse. So I did some extra things there, did some different things. So instead of going to the 3 and then to the 4, I went ahead and did this, then to the 4. So let's see here. This is a G7 with the added 9. G7 with the added 9. So, or I say G7, G flat 7 with the add 9. That would be the G7 with the add 9. So, you can play a G7. I would actually get very familiar with playing, what is that? Okay. I would get very familiar with playing these type of chords. Right? I would get very familiar with that chord right there, which is basically the G flat 7 with the added 9, because you got, that's G flat major, and you add the 7 right there, but instead of playing this G flat in your right hand, since you already have it in your left hand, you can take it out, you add this, right? and then you take this 7 that you're playing down here and play it down here. So that would make it a G flat 7, G flat dominant 7 with add 9. So if you practice that and take that chord up every single note, I think it'll help you for being able to play stuff like this. So because you can do stuff like this. Sorry, got, you know. So right now, basically I'm just showing you different things that you can do just because we've already learned the song. Like it's not really any differences other than what I've already showed you as far as the, we learned that already. We learned right? We learned the thing where you go from the 4 to the 1 right here. Or we learned that already. We learned the 3 to the 4. And doing the same thing. And then you're back at the 1. Really isn't any like different chord progressions than that. So now I'm just trying to show you different things that you can do. Get familiar with that 13th, or not 13th chord, because that would be in the 13th chord. But get used to that D flat, or the dominant chord with the added 9. The dominant chord with the added 9, no matter what note you're on. That way you can walk down the things and you can walk up the things. What I mean is like you're on, let's say you're on D flat. You got, this is the 1. I keep on messing that part up, but hopefully you get what I mean. Right here. You can do stuff like that in order to spice things up, right? So you got, just going from the B to the C to the D flat using that dominant 7 with that 9 chord. Okay, another thing that you can do, get used to going from this E major chord. Get used to going from the E major chord, or let me put it like this just in case you're not playing it in D flat. The flat 3, get used to playing its major chord. Okay? It just so happens to be E flat major for us, but we can go from E major to E flat minor. Okay? From E major to E flat minor. You know? You can also add into this little mix, because right now it's not like a certain way to play this. I'm just giving you chords that you can go to while you're doing that. 1, you can play an E major. You can play a E flat minor, which is the 2. You can play a 1 minor chord. You can also play a G flat major. Okay, so E, A flat, and D. That's an E major. E flat minor, E flat, G flat, and B flat. D flat minor, D flat, E, A flat. G flat major, B flat, D flat, G flat. You can do any of those chords. Like just playing with those, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 chords. Just 4 chords right there. You can play a lot of different things, just kind of cycling between those. I'm going to just play around with them. Those 4 chords. Just learning how to keep this left hand pulsing while you're doing it. And obviously with a song like this, you're not going to be as busy as that, but you can if that's what you want to, if that's what you feel and that's what the Spirit has put in you to do, then you know. So, right there, another thing you can do. So that is E, F, E, F, E, F, D flat. Or you got flat 3, 3, flat 3, 3, 1. That's another thing you can do. Kind of like playing off of that pentatonic scale. 5, flat 5, 4. And then you got that flat 3 to the 3. A flat, which is the 5. 6, which is B flat, and then D flat. Once again, that's 5, flat 5, 4, flat 3, 3, 4, 6, 1. One more time slower since I said that all fast. 5, flat 5, 4, flat 3, 3, A flat, or 5 to the 6, and then 1. So 5, 6, 1 after that. You would have to kind of play with the timing to see how it will work, you know, but sorry about that. Okay. From there, you also have the blues scale that you can play with. Playing with those notes. So those notes for the blues scale, you got D flat, which is the 1. And I will write this scale down and practice it if you don't know it. D flat, which is the 1. E, which is the flat 3. G flat, which is the 4. G, which is the flat 5. A flat, which is the 5. Then you have B, which is the flat 7. And then you got D flat, which is the 1. I will practice going up and going up and down the blues scale for the key that you're playing in. And I was messing up all over the place, but you want to be able to like without messing up like I was just doing. So you want to be able to do like runs and not really have to think about it too much. So you I keep on messing up, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. That's playing with the blues scale, right? Key is, like I said, getting this left hand to keep just staying on the bass, unless you have a bass player to be able to, you know. Stuff like that. Hopefully this video helps. There's really not much else I can really say about the song, because that's really all it is. You got that. You got that. You got the. You got. I guess you can do that. Most of the time when I play stuff like that, it would be like. Okay, so for that, you're going to start with a D flat and A flat in your left. That's D flat and A flat in your left. You got D flat, E flat, D flat, E, and A flat in the right. So from here, you kind of hit it twice. You got and it's a push going to that second chord that I'm about to show you. Like that. So remember the first chord, D flat, A flat, D flat, E, A flat. You hit that again, and then you go to this next chord, which is D flat and B flat in the left, D flat, G flat, and B flat in the right. Right there, that chord. But it's quick. You don't hold it like. You don't hold it. You go. Next chord you can go to if you want. D flat and B in your left hand. E flat, G flat, and B in the right. Or play an E major chord. E, A flat, and B. It's up to you. If I need to break this down a little bit simpler, I think I can. I think I can do it simpler. So if I need to, just let me know. But if that helps you and that's kind of what you're looking for, God bless you. Hopefully you can play it sooner and reach the goal that you're wanting to reach with it. Listen to the song again, and try to use those chords and plug them in to where you're hearing, and use some of those concepts of different little things that you can do with like the blues scale and things like that. And you can even do that in your left hand, you know. Like add a little bit of flavor just by playing with little notes and things like that. You can also even use the E major scale. Okay, you can use the E major scale in order to come up with different runs, because C sharp, we're kind of like in a C sharp minor mode. Okay, and because of that, I know that C sharp is E's relative minor. So they actually share the same type of notes. They share the same scale. So this is the E major scale. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and then E, right? So what you can do, because if you play this from E to E, if you play the E major scale from C sharp to C sharp using the E major scale, you will actually play the D flat minor scale. Okay? Hopefully I don't confuse you. If you play from C sharp to C sharp using the notes that you would find in the E major scale, then you will play the C sharp minor scale or D flat minor scale. Watch. And all I did in order to play that minor scale was I played from D flat to D flat using the E major scale. But instead of starting at E, I started at D flat and I played the E minor scale. You can use that scale in order to play notes and runs. Watch. In my right hand, I'm about to go over to the key of E, basically, and start doing, I don't know, almost like worship type of runs in my right hand. Hear that? Right? So if I was playing in the key of E, right? Like you're playing almost like E worship type of stuff, but you're playing it over C sharp. And it gives it a whole nother feel. Now if you're doing that churchy stuff, you can play that. Okay, so E major scale. You can use that to play different runs too. Okay? I was just trying to throw you guys some nuggets and things like that. Hopefully you can use it in your church services and use it to play this song. But until the next one, God bless you. Man, I really got to figure out this memory thing. So if anyone has any ideas, because what I thought I was going to do is take all the videos off my phone and then delete them and then I'll have more memory. That did not work, which is why I just had to do 2 videos. But yeah, just let me know.